Hey guys, Blarg here again for Rise of Zek. If you're planning to get in on the Monsters and Memories 7-day community alpha playtest starting on September 1st, you'll want to check out these top 5 tips and tricks we've put together for you in this video. Whether it's your first time playing or if you've tried the previous playtest, these tips will help you make the most out of your playtime and hopefully give you an edge over your competition. If you're looking for a more in-depth guide, check out our Getting Started guide that we'll link in the cards. But for now, let's get into those tips and tricks. First up, we have an honorable mention for Sharpening stones. Sure, we could have just called it a top 6 list, but that didn't sound as good. When you're first starting out, whether you're a caster or a melee, you're probably going to want to swing your weapon to do some damage. For the first 10 or so levels, most people will be rocking rusty weapons dropped from skeletons and other humanoid mobs. But did you know that with a few stones, you can turn those rusty weapons into tarnished weapons, giving you a slight edge in DPS? First, mine a few stones from the ore veins located against a large rock scattered all around the area outside of the west gate. Then, take those stones to the anvil located in the market and craft some sharpening stones. Finally, find the tarnished version of your rusty weapon in the anvil UI and use it and the sharpening stone to craft a tarnished version. And boom, instant upgrade. Now, one small caveat. You can fail the upgrade, which will destroy the rusty weapon. So make sure you have a backup or two in case your first attempt fails. You don't want to be walking around weaponless after all. Number 5, Scarab Armor quest. For some early plate armor with decent stats, as long as you don't care about your charisma, we like to complete the quest for Scarab Armor offered by Halt Beetle Wrangler in the Sojourner's Camp. Simply kill the scarabs in the newbie leveling area until you get a few carapaces. Then hand those in to the Beetle Wrangler along with some scarab legs. The number you hand him of each item determines which piece you get back. We'll put the full recipe list up on the screens, but feel free to pause and reference those as needed. As an added bonus, the plate even has a nice green tint to it so you won't look like all the other noobs running around in the yard. Number 4. Check the vendor for upgrades. Monsters and Memories uses a second-hand vendor system, meaning anything that a player sells to a vendor, that vendor will then offer to sell to other players. That means that if a high-level player dumps their trash off on a vendor, it could be your treasure so long as you can afford it. If you're just starting out a new character on the 7-day alpha, there are plenty of characters who are already leveled up from the prior alpha tests who may be dumping their trash on vendors in the starting areas. So make sure you take a peek at what those vendors have for sale. You might just find yourself a massive upgrade. Number 3, Campfires. Campfires are one of the most important things in Monsters and Memories. First and foremost, if you stay near a campfire long enough, you become well rested, which gives you a 15% bonus to your experience. This game is way too grindy to miss out on any experience at all, so make sure you're always well rested while grinding. To check whether you are or not, simply target yourself and press your consider button, and you'll get a readout that says you're either tired, rested, or well rested. Second, raw meat is going to drop off of most living mobs that you kill, and you can cook that up on a campfire to use as food to avoid having to spend your precious silver to keep yourself fed. You could sell the raw meat instead for a couple of copper, especially if you're loaded up on food, but if you're going to need to buy rations anyway, you may as well do the cooking yourself. Third, campfires cost 8 wood to craft and they will start to go out over time. But don't craft a new campfire when your current one's going out unless you're planning to move locations. Simply drag 1 wood from your inventory onto the fire and the campfire will keep going strong. And finally, as you know, it's really dark in Monsters and Memories, although we do have some help for you coming up in our next tip. And the campfire is the best way to keep your visibility up. We can't stress this enough. If you're grinding, you better be grinding by a campfire. Number 2, let there be light. Look, Monsters and Memories is dark as hell, especially at night, but the developers have graciously given us a pretty good solution. No, we aren't talking torches or even campfires, we're talking about the Gamma Slider. Go into your options menu and under the graphics tab, scroll down until you find the Gamma Slider. Drag that bad boy up from 50 all the way to 100 and just like that, nighttime isn't nearly as scary. And our number one tip, get yourself some free bags. There's nothing worse in any game with loot than seeing some juicy stuff drop, realizing your inventory is full, and having to decide what to drop on the ground and what to take with you. Monsters and Memories is no exception, and in fact, inventory space is extremely limited early on before you have bags. But this 2-for-1 tip will get you ahead. First, find the shady goblin outside of the west gate and type interested. He'll hand you an absolutely free 6-slot bag, no strings attached. Sure, he wants you to complete a quest with it, but the bag is worth way more than his reward, so just take the bag and leave him in the dust. Along the same lines, the starter quest for each of the various classes typically involves your guildmaster handing you a bag and asking you to collect a number of things to put in the bag, combine, and hand back in. But we recommend just taking the bag and skipping the quest until later on when you can afford to buy bags to replace it. A special shout out goes to the Necromancer, who gets an 8-slot medium item-sized bag. That's way better than even the bags you'll be buying for handfuls of silver. However, big note here, the Bard quest gives you a 6-slot bag, but also 6 items. So if you start the Bard quest, you actually lose 1 inventory space, as the full bag will take away one of your precious slots until you finish the quest. Sorry Bards, but at least there's finally something you aren't the best at. And that's all for us. We hope these quick tips get you started off strong in the 7-day alpha. Let us know in the comments which of these you found most helpful. Or maybe you know a tip or trick that we don't and want to share with us and the rest of the community. Either way, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. We've got several videos coming out over the next few days, and we'll be sure to put out more during the alpha, so make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see those videos as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the server.